and Mush and Mikey.
Rock and Roll Roundtable!
Yeah, proudly presented by the folks over at Moshman Media.
This week, all female rock bands.
Phenomenon that's really taken off, and it's been around for a long time, but you see it more, I think, today than we did maybe 20, 30 years ago. But then again, if you sit down and think about all the all-female bands, it goes from the 70s, man. It really does. It's one of those things that you just don't think about because, you either like a band or you don't. I really don't care if they're all females, but it is kind of a niche because it's just not 100% normal. You have a lot more women today that front the band. They're definitely out there singing, even the growlers like my beloved Tatiana and Courtney LaPlante and, Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain, all these really strong, growling, capable women that usually go back and forth, which is like the biggest, I want to say it's the biggest trend that I've seen in the past 10 years, is women doing the growling, but also singing in their normal singing voice. And it's just become more popular, put it that way. But man, there's so many great all-female bands. And right now there's a few. We just talked about an up-and-coming band that, I didn't quite get it, but Die Spitz.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get it yet. I've been trying to listen to it here more, a little bit more and a little bit more. But they're all female. They're all young. They're a top-notch band, really, by their numbers. For the people that like them, they're very good. One I really enjoy that's newer, I should say, not brand new, but newer, is Plush. Now, if you don't know, Plush has that Mariah Formica, who was on like The Voice or American Idol or one of them. And she was a real mentored protege of Michael Sweet there for a while.
Okay.
So he's had her sing some of his Christmas stuff and some of his other music. And then you have the bass player, Ashley. She was like a pop star in her own right. She has a pop album out, but she plays bass for Plush. And Faith Powell plays the drums. And they're getting a lot of attention. They're on like Shiprock tours, and they've been opening for. Well, they just opened a show last week, I think, or in sometime in early March or April.
Yeah.
For like Collective Soul, which would have been a cool show.
Yeah.
Collective Soul still got it. They're a little bit on the arrogant side sometimes, but yeah, Plush is all over the place, and they're a 3-piece. They used to be 4, but their guitar player quit, and Mariah filled right in on the leads and stuff. Another 3-piece that all female that really bangs it out is The Warning.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
and they've been doing it for a while. They're not new, but they get more impressive the older they get. Because they started out like, I think the drummer was 10 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
When they started, and now they're all like early 20s or late, outstanding cohesiveness. I think they're all related. 2 of them are sisters or something. But man, they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're all females too. Now, one of your favorites that is all female, and we've talked about them on the show numerous times, is Burning Witches.
Yeah. And
I think that, you seem to see them making some headway here. Courtney's, God, she's the package, man. She can play great. She looks great. She's can play, like, she loves King Diamond music, Merciful Fate. Iron Maiden, of course, and it translates into what she plays from what I've heard of Burning Witches. But man, I mean, I know you talk about them a lot, and they probably are underrated. And maybe they'll get what's coming to them. You never
I
know.
they've they're on tour right now. They finally got this tour of North America going, and they're putting in their dues, man. They're playing a lot of fucking smaller clubs.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and they're hitting they do hit a lot of the, like, the big concerts in Europe. They usually get on a lot of those big shows, like the summer shows and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Yeah, oh
And they're
yeah.
they're always on those. I think they've done a couple cruises, and they're pretty solid. I mean, I have nothing but good stuff to say about them.
They're they're
Always.
they're they very much in a European feel to them. Because most of them are European,
Yes.
and a lot of people really grab it. They either love that or they just like meh.
Yeah.
I was meh. I was always kind of meh on them, even with Courtney in there. But yeah, I mean, I do like their stuff. I'm a little I'm grabbing. I'm off the meh a little bit. I'm
Into
not
the
to I'm not to being in love with them or nothing, but I
Yeah.
think they're better than I thought they were when I just listened to them here and there. So yeah, good on Burning Witches. I hope to God they have great success. Now, there's like a top 10 that I wrote down here.
Okay.
Just because out of knowing them, really liking them, and they're mainstreamish. You know,
Okay.
that everybody will kind of know these people. Yeah, of course, I didn't put them in order because I just to sit there and try to put them in order because some days it's gonna change, and
Yeah.
it's not the list I have of all female bands are not all heavy metal. They're not all thrash. They're
Okay.
also popular music, pop punk, if you want to call it that. So I'll go down that. Got them written down here in my notes. The metal album of the year is going to be my first one. Metal album of last year for
Okay.
me was by Kitty, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kitty is been around. They took some time off. They came back. I got to see them this year or last year, I should say now. Just it was like a full circle. That was one of my bucket lists. Got taken care of. But Kitties, man, they used to be more like just screaming and playing as fast as they could. But it just, I thought it was a jumbled mess when I heard them because I didn't quite get what was going on back then.
Yeah.
Boy, they polished it up now.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Just four ladies that rock it out. Yeah. Call them metal, call them rock, call them whatever you want. They're badass, right? They're just badass. The next one I had down here is a popish rock, kind of sort of from the 80s and the 90s, maybe. I can't remember when they came out exactly. Probably 80s. I'm thinking it was in the 80s glam. Vixen.
Yep.
Vixen had some catchy stuff, man. They were not heavy, very melodic. The singer was I like Janet Gardner. I thought she was great. But you either love them, you think they're a little too poppy. They're kind of like Heart. They were like Heart to me. If Heart was a bit like a glam band, but the Heart stuff in the '80s was more popular music. It even strayed away from Vixen played a little heavier stuff maybe than Heart then. But
Yeah.
Heart in the '70s was just ripping people's head off.
Well,
Yeah,
they were hard rock at the time. I mean, Heart
yeah,
was,
yeah.
but they weren't all female.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the sound of Vixen reminds me of what
Okay,
Heart.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Now, here's
Great
one you
band,
might
but
not.
we can't include them this
No, no,
time.
no. I don't include them because there's a lot of bands that have two or three
Yes.
girls in it, but they also have a man. So that's not what I'm talking about here
Yeah.
today. Now, this one's kind of under the radar, but I remember them pretty good. They were around for quite a while. Then I think they broke up and come back together. They're called Babes in Toyland. I only remember certain little pockets of song because I, at one time in my life, thought that was a guy group. Just
Really?
seeing the name, just seeing the
Okay.
name, I thought, okay, that's probably some hair band. Then I heard them, and I'm like, well, that's not. Wait a minute. So I had to investigate them a little bit,
Okay.
and they're sometimes forgotten. They really are. And I said when I seen the name, I'm like, I'm gonna go listen to them. I kind of like that. I kind of liked them. It was like not over the top, but appreciative, respectable. And they were good. They did it for years, man. I mean, like years and years.
So
So
okay, I don't I remember the name, but it just didn't. I kept thinking the Disney movie when you see Babes in Toyland. So I never. What did they do? What? Give me a
well,
little rundown of what kind of music did they play?
I think they're more like whole, kind of, that kind of angry, but not like over the top
Okay.
metal or anything. I mean, it was just like kind of rock, but kind of nasty, a little bit on the sleazier side of things. And I mean, they weren't for everybody. They really weren't on my list as
Okay.
far as my normal everyday list. L7's comparable to me. Like L7 was the big grunge band, that was out at Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Nirvana
Yeah.
time. L7 was all women, all female.
Okay.
And it reminds me of them in a way, but a little bit more pretty, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard. You'll have to check them out because
I'm gonna have to now.
I
Thanks.
I didn't go down the rabbit hole and listen to like a lot of their stuff. I just picked out a few on Spotify, so it could be deceiving too.
Okay.
Like I said, I thought they were a guy group until it showed up three women on there. What the hell? And I'd heard the vocals. I was like, okay,
Okay.
go to the next one. This one, more known I think, for the music videos and the smoking hot. I don't care. Get on me about being correct. She's iconic lead singer, Susanna Hoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Bengals.
the walk like an Egyptian, that look she does, forget it, man. Forget it. You're not normal if you thought that wasn't like, wow, that would be crazy. But yeah, they had some other great songs though. I don't want to put them
Yeah.
in like a pretty girl class because Hazy Shade of Winter and all that stuff. World
That's a
Fire.
great fucking tune. Yes.
Yeah. And it was like Manic Monday, of course, was great, and Walk Like an Egyptian was the goof kind of song to me. But they had other songs that were just, and they probably got dismissed a little bit as cutesy. But man, Hazy Shade of Winter's got some kick. It's got some
Yeah.
kick to it, man.
Yeah.
I think it's great. The next one on my list is local for us, and it's two sisters. I count this guy now. This one could get me in trouble because I think I counted this as all female because it's the Breeders. Okay, Kim and Kelly Deal. The drummer, I believe, on the live shows was a dude,
Okay.
but I'm not convinced that the drummer in the studio was not one of the Deal sisters. Okay,
Okay.
that's why I put them on there because I couldn't remember.
Okay. So it's questionable if it was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, because I remember the guy that played for the Breeders also played for Real Lulu, if I remember right.
Okay.
And Real Lulu was the same situation. they were two girls up front with Jim McPherson playing drum.
Yeah.
I think it was the same thing with the Breeders, but I don't know about the studio. So
Okay.
maybe I just snuck
Well,
them in
you
because
are pushing that technicality. You are
maybe I'm
pushing
just
it.
sneaking them in because, and some of them, you know, it's hard to know if they're actually all girls or not. You might see a few, but there's always like other instruments being played. You don't know if they're men or female, unless you see them live, you don't
Yeah.
know. If they're broadcasted out as an all female band, who am I to judge? I don't know. There's got to be a reason they're allowed in that category. It's this next band I barely remember, but they were on every list I looked at. And it's like, okay, Bikini Kill. The name
I remember
sounds
the name.
familiar.
I remember the
And
name.
I didn't even get a chance to listen to this, but it was on the list, a few different ones of all female bands. So what I did was go and I got a little bit about them. They are Riot Girl. They're classified as a Riot Girl movement. I don't know what that means, but
Okay.
just going by what I found. Kathleen Hanna was the lead singer for that. She has the look of a punk.
Okay.
The hair is kind of weird. Probably got the Hello Kitty ties in them or something. She wears a shirt in the picture I saw that I saved was a shirt that said "Kill Me." That might have been their thing with Bikini Kill. But I wrote some other stuff. Let me see. They disbanded way back when, 97.
Okay.
But they're considered punk rock. So I'm surprised I never heard them. That's what
Yeah.
gets me. But it had Toby Valley and Kathy Wilcox were the other band members. So Toby, Tobi, sounds kind of like a girl's name. So I'm going to give Bikini Kill their prop. I did. That's the one that pissed me off this week because I forgot to listen to them. And I came down
Ah.
here when I looked at my list when I got down here. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, I didn't listen to any Bikini Kill at all. So yeah, but it sounds pop punk. So
Okay.
now this one was on my list. I just talked about was L7. L7, I didn't personally. I did not care for, but
Okay.
they were in a big mixture of they were the grunge. They were the Seattle people.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to make any way in that space back then. But they just weren't my style, pretty much. I mean, I'll be honest, and it's all I can do. The next one I put on my list, we had maybe had talked about Sleater Kinney. Now, Sleater Kinney, I know is a trio. They're female.
Okay.
They came out at a kind of a weird time because I think a lot of people confused them with Veruca Salt. And
Okay.
Veruca Salt was my jam, man. I really like Veruca Salt. Now, Sleater Kinney, they were in the mid 90s. They were kind of in that same area.
Okay.
They were out there in the grunge scene too. That's where they're from now. Got to put they went on hiatus in 2006, and that's the last I ever really heard of.
Okay.
But I can't. I'm trying to wrap my brain around the song they had. They were another one that was called Riot Girl. So they were in the same class as Bikini Kill, probably lived in with L7.
Okay.
So it probably just got lost. But I'd heard this name 100 times, but I don't remember a single song. And that's another one I just didn't listen to. But I mean, there was so much going on in Seattle, dude. It was just tried to listen to L7, and I didn't care for it. And these guys, the names there, but it escapes me. any famous song they might have because Veruca Salt just sticks in my head. I don't know why. It has nothing close to the name, but yeah, I don't know. Sleater Kenny. If anybody out there can tell us
Yeah.
some Sleater Kenny stuff, I'll be happy to hear it because I just don't. I don't remember any. Now, the last couple I got on my list are the biggest ones, probably that mainstream people will know. And the first one is because so many people from the band went out and made it on their own. So when you talk about all females, the Runaways kind of started this shit as far as, rock music. Because there's been girl groups forever, way back in Motown and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But you didn't see it like in CBGBs. You didn't see it in places like that or on the strip as much in the 70s, especially because, really, to tell you the truth, I remember the 70s, women's liberation kind of was still going on. It wasn't like fully like it is now, but and it was like it was kind of strange to have seen an all-girl rock band back
Yeah.
then. Unless you can think of one before them, because I really can't.
For rock bands, for actual
Yeah.
rock bands, I I I know the fucking Go Go's started out in more punk. Honestly,
Yeah, but
they
just
they really
Belinda.
was they were really huh?
Belinda was a punk drummer from the get-go. She played drums in another punk band
Okay.
before the Go-Go's. The Go-Go's was never like as hard as what she was playing punk drums for. But I seen a story about Belinda Carlisle. The only reason I know that she started out as a drummer for like a punk band. Like I don't remember if it was Gen X or X. Well, maybe one, not none of them. I don't know. But I know she was a drummer first, and when she got into the Go Go's, then it became like a lower level punk, and they just evolved from that to pop punk to almost pop.
Yeah.
They still had a little bit, but they're next on my they were next on my list anyway. But the Runaways, man, it's like Joan Jett came out of the Runaway, Lita Ford come out of the Runaway. Those are two of the bigger musical acts at different times in the 80s, 90s. They still
Well,
tour, both
Sherry
of
Curry
them.
still was doing stuff.
Yeah. Terry
So
Curry's still out there. Not to the level maybe of a Lita or Joan Jett, but Joan Jett playing stadiums with Def Leppard last year.
yeah.
It's like Lita Ford still plays a lot of shows and festivals, and uh, you know, eh, to have that longevity. But this it wasn't a stick for them. I think they were just girls that wanted to play. And I think back in that day, now this could be totally wrong, and somebody wants to call me out for it. But I would think back in the 70s, where it was still fighting for equality a little bit with the women stuff, that men would be reluctant to let women come into a hard rock band. You know what I'm saying? It's to join them with the other guys. It's not
Well,
like the 90s and shit.
uh, their fucking manager was the one that really pushed them. I mean that's all known history.
Yeah, yeah, they had to be
So
pushed.
he was big on the scene in that area, and he was the one that kind of built them and then promoted them and all that stuff.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as
I mean,
far as the Runaways go, I mean they did that movie a few years back, which was really interesting.
yeah, wasn't that I'm trying to think. Didn't the girl that played in Twilight play one of the people in that movie?
I think so. Yes.
Kristen Stewart. I think she played
Yeah.
the role of one of them. I can't remember which one, but no, these girls were definitely they fit the vibe of the '70s. Like I just took like a snippet picture so I would remember, and it was like, oh God, yeah, the '70s. They would have been teenagers when I was a kid, but it's like, yeah, I remember teenagers looking just like them. It was like that was the look, the fake blonde, and then you had the just the some of them had the tough girl look to them, like they were just not taking any shit, and they probably did. I'm sure they did. Joan Jett was known for that, that kind of thing. Lita was more of a party girl, I think. Joan was more of the attitude, and but but I only remember Cherry Bomb, to be honest. I know they had other songs, like I remember Backbeat was a decent song, but I didn't. I think my sisters had the album even, and I just never gravitated to it. I never thought much about it, but Cherry Bomb was like so cheesy and cheeky, but it laid the groundwork for bands like them to come out later.
Well,
And one of yeah, go
you
ahead.
know, that was an early hit, early in their career. I
Yeah,
mean, you progress as a songwriter. You know that yourself.
right.
You start somewhere and you build on to what you're doing. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
understandable that it was something catchy that everybody picked up on.
Well, I think they were 17 or 18 years
Yeah,
old.
that's what
It's
it's
like
like.
if we talk about this a lot. Back in the days when record companies kind of ruled, you had to have a hit.
Yes.
So it's just like Cherry Bomb could just be, it might as well be Cherry Pie for Warrant.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a song they didn't even really fucking want, but they had to have a hit. You don't know. I mean, I wouldn't care as long. I mean, if it got me in the door, I guess say okay, it was a cheese ball, but it got my foot in the door. Okay with it. Now we'll be able to. And look what they did after the fact. I mean, two of the bigger actual solo artists. I guess you got to count the Blackhearts, but still kind of broke away from the Runaways and phenomenal 50-year career. It's like 50 plus,
Yeah.
probably altogether. But no, they were just essential. They, to me, were an essential part of rock history because it allowed you could see women in that spot then. You know what I mean? It's like before that, it was like Karen Carpenter kind of singing, Anne Murray. Yeah, people
Yeah.
like, oh, the pretty, all the girls are so pretty, boys. Nah, these girls come out Chuck cherry bombing us.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, I thought it was Karen Carpenter, by the way. I know it's not all girls, but I never knew how good a fucking drummer she was. Holy shit. I seen some video. I'm throwing a sidebar because I'd never seen her play drum solos before. And it's like, my God, man, that girl was multi-talented. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. On to the last one on my list. And we just talked about the aforementioned Go-Go's. Pop punk staples. You really, I mean, it's hard for me to say pop punk. I know that's what it is. But as pop punk has progressed, they just sound more pop to me.
Yeah.
But at the time, now
Yes.
I go
Yeah.
back in my time machine in the '80s. Yeah, they were there. It was. It wasn't rock music. It wasn't because pop was like way, way wimpier. So they had a little bit more kick to it, but it also was very fun and happy. Kind of the opposite, really, of the Runaways. The Runaways were more like harsh girls that would fight you in a bar fight. The Go Go's were more like, Yeah, we could probably fight you in a bar fight, but we'd rather just have you buy us drinks, and we'll play nice music for you. They were more approachable. The Runaways would have scared me a little bit. You know, the Go Go's were like, "Oh yeah, I think this girl's probably pretty cool." You
Yeah.
know, and they might have punched your lights out. I don't know, but man, the Go Go's hit after hit after hit after hit, and We Got the Beat came out. I thought well, that's different. I remember that coming out, but I like some of their softer songs. I guess Kill Me, but I liked Vacation. I don't know why. I just thought Vacation was a fun song, man. It's like it made me
Well,
want to go on vacation.
I think they just kind of showed that they could do a little pop punk and still try other fucking music styles. I mean,
Yeah,
Our Lips Are Sealed is a fucking great tune. I mean, it's solid. And
yeah,
it showed the vocals very well. And, I think Jane Whelan was the one that wrote that one. That was her
could be.
song. I think so, yeah.
I
So,
liked I liked a lot of theirs. Head Over Heels might be my favorite one, but it's like yeah, they were super talented, and Belinda went on to do her pop career, but coming from a drummer in a punk band to a pop singer, she evolved into what she really was good at. I think she was a little too. I don't want to say it disrespectful because it's not meant to be. She had more of a feminine voice that was better for pop music than it was punk. It's like I've seen that numerous times. Blondie was a punk band. You know, Blonde, Debbie Harry was the first real rap artist ever. You listen to Rapture, man. She did that before anybody else, but she was better designed for the later stuff when she was singing more with pop music background. Even today's age, Gwen Stefani was great and no doubt, but she can be a pop star because she has the pipes for it and she
yeah,
can
yeah.
manipulate it. So there's nothing wrong with Belinda using what her God given talent to go a different direction. I don't call that selling out. A lot of people do. No, it's like your voice is better at one style than another. Use it. If my voice was okay for a rock singing and it was phenomenal for country music, guess what? I'm singing country, baby. Yeah, sometimes you gotta know in your market you can not be in a sellout, but if you want to do the very best version of yourself, you follow what you're good at. And she could still do all the go-go stuff. Oh, I'm sure she could sing that to this day.
I,
But
I
why not sing, Mad About You and, Heaven is a Place on Earth and make buku amounts of money, have awards, and enjoy yourself still? I don't fault her at all. I don't fault any of the women that follow their path here, you know, but some were better than others. Some were better known than others. The best all female band in the world right now, I'm going to say it, and I don't care. It's close. It's close. It's a close race, but it's Kitty. I'm sorry. I just think it's Kitty. Now, the Warning is beating down their door.
yeah, yeah,
And for what they do, Burning Witches is on another level.
yeah,
So you got to kind of look at it and what you're playing to. Kitty's more of the harsher stuff. The Warning is hard rock area. Then you got bands like Burning Witches that are
yeah,
symphonic kind of speed
yeah,
metal. So they're all in a different genres. So yeah, but those are the top three right now in my book.
yeah, yeah. I gotta agree. And you gotta enjoy it because they they are standing on the shoulders of greatness, and they are relevant. So you cannot fucking deny it. So good for
Huh?
them. Good for all of
Yeah.
them to get your voices heard. I mean, honestly. And you're putting out some great music. So I stand by it 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I think you can listen to it from the past, you can listen to it in the present. It doesn't really make, like I said at the beginning of the show, it doesn't make me a damn bit of difference if it's all women or all men or combination of the two, if I like what I like.
Yeah.
But you sometimes, these you got to give, these girls are playing all the music and singing all the lyrics, and they're just as good as the boys next door.
Yep.
It's just
Yep.
the way it is.
Yep.
Long live Kitty, for sure. But I am a Warning fan. I am a Warning fan, very much so. I am Burning Witches. Any of them, they deserve the accolades they get.
Exactly. All right, Mikey. Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
This is Skeet.
I am Mosh and Mikey.
See ya!
Peace out.